All right, guys. I'm just going to kick us off here and say, welcome. Thank you all very much for coming, and we'll get to know each other a little bit before the live stream starts, and we push it out. We just do this casual thing to get used to the sound and everything. I'm an event partner from Minnesota, and I've been at a dozen different UnVEXed Robotics World Championships, and lately they've been giving me a microphone, and I'm one of the MCs. So it's a lot of fun. We're super passionate about UnVEXed Robotics. So Paula, who are you?
Well, I'm Paula Mortensen. I am from southern Minnesota. Quite an honor to be around such amazing people in our region. I have been a coach for 9 years. It will be my 10th year at robotics, and we are in a really super small town, and we have 8 teams. And so about 20% of our student population is in robotics right now. Super exciting. We've been to Worlds about 6 times. And super excited to hear all of the great stuff that the teams have to share and all of the other awesome people on the video call.
Thanks so much.
I have a very quick question. We keep disconnecting all the time.
Uh-oh. So do you have a good solid internet connection? Is it possible to get a wired line? Must have disconnected.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. It looks like somehow they're trying to switch cameras, so I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you can see it right now.
Yeah, we can hear you now, I think. Talk, please. We also have a chat window if you can hear us. You can always pop stuff up into that chat window, and that might be useful if you're having some problems.
Some sort of podcast software.
I hear people.
There's Todd.
Keep working the problem.
I assume you can all hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, we're just fighting through some of the connection issues out in California, it looks like. How's everybody else's stuff working? We were doing a go-around intro just to test sound and whatnot. So while you guys keep working the problem, Clint.
Hey, my name is Clint Matlack, and I am from Central Ohio, VRC mentor, IQ mentor. We are a high school team. We have 8 teams. My wife is the teacher and coach for those teams. And we also run the Kalahari Classic signature event, as well as our state championship. And I think this year was our 11th year of going to Worlds.
Woohoo! And your partner in crime over there, Mr. John Queen.
Hey, yo, what's going on, everybody? I'm John Queen, or John Vex Head Ref on Instagram.
I didn't know that, John.
Yep.
If you guys haven't seen, hey, John, where can we see your mother-in-law Easter video?
Oh, I'll pull it. I'll post it on Instagram.
Okay.
That'll be good. It'll come to IG tomorrow. That's a good one.
That was
Send
hilarious.
Send it out in a group email.
Right on.
And we're gonna have Are we gonna have world champions in the house today? Like world champions?
Yes, sir. Here.
That's good. Congratulations. Really, congratulations.
Thank you.
So how's our sound stuff working now? Have we got the cameras figured out in California?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. My teammate, I'm not sure. I think he's having connection issues. Mine just stabilized, but I think they're trying to join.
Okay. And your name, you are Sakith?
Like he just froze again.
He said that and he froze.
Every time we talk to him, he freezes.
And now we got new people.
Okay, are you guys joining on the same feed?
That might be a problem.
I think they're frozen.
Yeah, they're showing up red on my end.
So, Aaron, I think they've got one invite code, and I didn't tell them that shouldn't be shared.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think that's what's happening. They're toggling back and forth.
Yep. So
So I think
What?
John
that's
and
what we're
I
going to
were
do.
fighting. I think John and I were fighting as well because I would freeze up whenever he would come on, and then I would boot him out.
Are you,
So
do you
I
have
logged
the
in.
singular invite code too?
No,
I
we
went
have
back
separate
and
now.
actually used the one that Christy used last time.
Yeah, the one that Christy used is technically yours. But we just let Christy use it that one time.
I think I'm frozen.
You are. You're showing red on my end too, Paul. I don't know
But we
why.
can hear it. That's weird.
Yeah. She's
At least you
smiling.
froze with
She's
a
not
smile.
really smiling at him. know.
Yeah, I wish.
I'm pretty sure I'd
All
have
right.
my finger in my nose or something stupid.
So, Barcbots, if you can hear us right now, we gave you. I sent an email for a single login, and I think if you have two people from two different sites that are trying to join, then that login basically, if one goes in, the other's going to go out.
Can you send us the other one, the second one?
Oh, we just heard him.
Aaron, do you have a second one to send?
I do.
And then that might mess up some of your screens where you have like the triple screens and stuff, or you might need a quad screen.
Yeah, it's going to take me a little bit of programming, but yeah, I'll figure it out.
Or we can
Use
actually
it.
can tell the second person to stay off.
I'm going to disconnect and reconnect.
To stay off.
All right. Well, hey, let's get to meet these world champions a little bit here while you're live, and we can check out your sound quality and stuff.
Alrighty. I'm Mike Schaefer from Team 7686B. We are world champions this year, along with the Barcbots. It's been a great year, all building up to this ultimate title. And I guess I'll let my dad and coach introduce himself.
Yeah, so I'm Noel Schaefer, parent, volunteer, coach, whatever. I'm the logistics person, setting up hotels, driving, all that sort of stuff. I've been doing kind of parent volunteer coaching we started off with my oldest, I think in 2011 and 12 with First Lego League. We did that for a couple years, and then as our kids got older, we just kind of switched over to VEXed, and that seemed like a better suited to what our kids wanted to do. So that's what we switched to and have stuck with.
And I've been doing VEXed for 7 years. It's my 6th year in VRC this year, so I did 1 year of IQ. And I guess I'm the team captain of my team. I also do a lot of the engineering. I do some CAD, and I do our notebooking documentation.
Very nice. I love that you started with Lego League. You know, that was my start too. I was a Lego League coach when my kids were little, and did that for like 10 years. So that's a cool program too.
Yep.
All right. Now, are our friends from California stabilized? Sorry, Todd. Go ahead.
Nope.
Should be good. Can you hear us? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Andrew, I don't have their email, so I sent you the code.
It's all right. We're going to use this one session.
Yeah, we'll just use one link. Okay, so yeah, my name is Timur Dynov. Yeah, I'm a member of Barcbots Getting There, 11101B. This is my second year on Barcbots, third year in VRC, and I did, I think, I want to say 3 years of XIQ. I'm the, I guess, co-captain along with Sakif, the team. You're, I guess, the founding members of this year. Yeah, I guess excited to be here. Winning Worlds was definitely a dream come true, I guess. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, my name is Dennis. I'm his father and parent volunteer coach slash time manager slash motivational speaker. As you can imagine that, when you have juniors doing robotics, they have their own opinion on everything and they think they know it all, right? And I put the time together.
Great to meet you guys. Can you repeat your names, please? So I have to say them, and I don't want to mess it up.
Yeah, I'm Timur. Yeah.
So Timur, am I saying that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Wonderful. Dennis and Timur, and father and son combo. This is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I've cut Todd up like 3 times, so I want him to say something now.
No, it was in reference to Lego League, is the fact that I'm so old that I had the first Lego set in the neighborhood. Think about that, folks. Seriously, I did. My parents, who had no money, ran out, whether a friend somewhere else got it, and I had the first on my block. Tell you, every kid wanted to play with me that week. Right? Yeah. No, it was a big deal, but in a way that was leading to eventually Meccano, which is eventually, what some of you might call it a Rector set, Meccano. And then when I saw UnVEXed VRC for the first time, it was like, oh, wait a minute, I know what this stuff is. It's my Meccano set with motors and a brain. This is going to be cool. But yeah, so yeah, Lego's a great place to start too, whether it's FLL or just plain old Lego. As long as it leads us down the road, these 2 young robot builders are on their way to it. It's pretty cool stuff.
Andrew, did you forward that email on to him?
They just told me that they would have 1 set, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, we'll have 1.
Oh, the other person doesn't want to be on?
I mean, like,
he has homework.
He has homework and AP exam actually tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Oh,
he's done.
He's done? Oh, whatever.
Yeah, he has just finals.
Yeah, finals. Yes.
Okay, so we're back to having a triple screen on that section.
Right, I will change it back.
Now I'm curious if you guys are, is your program, is it run through a high school or is it private or what's the deal there?
It's a garage.
Dennis, you go first.
Yeah, it's a garage-based. Barcbots was founded by a very passionate person, Chris. His son was actually doing robotics too. So he basically found the club around his kid. A bunch of kids same age, joined his kid doing the XQ, and then decided to switch to the VRC, and then we joined that club. It's essentially just a garage stuff.
Cool. So do you have the whole field set up, like the whole garage is now overtaken strictly by UnVEXed Robotics?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. It's like parts all over, field set up, tables just for a few teams to work on.
Nice. Now, did you guys do any of those live remote skills only challenges during COVID?
We did not. That particular year, we decided to take a break from UnVEXed. Yes, decided to take a break from UnVEXed VRC, and Barcbots A team, which was actually doing UnVEXed that year, they just stopped working sometime in January, I think.
Sure. Because I recall some other teams from Cupertino, California. Is there a lot in that
315Y.
region?
Mhm.
Okay. So it was, what was it, 315Y?
315Y, yes.
They won, I think, the world's the COVID year, basically,
Yeah, they won the World that year.
years ago.
Cool. All right, back to South Dakota, guys. What's your team organization?
So we are a school-based organization. Chris Stewart started Tiger Robotics about 11 years ago, and it was just one team to start with, and for quite a few years, that's how it was. Right now, there's 4 VRC teams and I think 8 IQ teams, so it's grown a bit to gain some traction along with the middle school and elementary divisions. 7686B Capten was a school team, kind of turned into a basement team the second half of this season, as we kind of realized it takes so much time to like build our robot and be doing the goals we want to reach that we just kind of had to move it to one of our team members' basement for a while. So that's what ended up happening for sort of like the second half this season, and we eventually towards the end of the Worlds we got a field in his basement, and we programmed our skills out of there and all that. So yeah.
Very cool. I mean, having access to that stuff whenever you want, not having to worry about getting to the school and opening them up, and having the instructor there, that's kind of significant.
Right, that was a big problem, especially because my dad as a coach didn't want to be supervising 20 hours of practice every week.
Yeah, and we did, our general practice schedule is they'd meet for about 2 hours after school twice a week, just scheduled. And then occasionally we'd, throw in another evening or maybe a Saturday, and some other parents would come in and do that too. So we got them some extra time that way. But, obviously we had other things, other responsibilities too. And so then when we were able to, I think it was right after the U.S. Open, wasn't it, that we got the field and got it set up in one of the other team members' basements, and that was very helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think of the new plastic fields versus the old school metal ones?
It's hard to say. It seems like the plastic fields like to bend a lot more, kind of like bow outward. I could see Vex making like a plastic field V2 that has a lot of improvements, but it's definitely nice being able to like take them apart a lot easier. With a couple of people, we could disassemble after a tournament fairly quickly, as opposed to those bolts where you sometimes have to take a drill to it or whatever. And I like the snap-on, but it just needs a little more rigidity to be as to work as well as the other fields. And at Worlds, they were set up very well. I noticed we didn't really have any of those problems, but at some local events, it just like doesn't exactly work the same. So yeah.
Yeah. I'm a fan of the old metal ones just because we've had them for like 12 years, and then they've been in and out of events and trailers, and they just keep doing their thing.
Yeah, I did notice at the Worlds, a lot of those plastic fields, you notice they were attached to the riser. They weren't using their own method where they ran the cords between them. If you looked careful, many of them were bolted right to the riser, which makes that flexing problem go away, right? Well, hopefully they'll come up with something, as you're suggesting there, that we can retrofit that, a diagonal bar or something. I don't know, but that's my only complaint about them. I sure like the fact that I can pick up 2 sections and walk easy, right? With 2 sections, right? hell, I can carry all 4 if they leave them together for me. But the metal ones, the one thing I love about them is I still have the original metal set from whenever ago, and other than the tiles wear out, the fields sure don't. So.
I know. We have ours elevated like it is at the postseason tournaments and play, and I love that because it's got storage, and I want to put some extra braces on it. But if I do that, then obviously the teams, it doesn't work as well when they do travel to a tournament, and it's not supported the same way. So it'll be interesting to see how they could come up with some kind of a solution to solidify them a little bit more.
So we're going to run out of time here, and Aaron's going to hit the go button real soon. At the end of this, I think it would be fun to do a go around. That's something we've done on quite a few of these videos where we just have this multi-screen like this, and each of us you can talk about a topic. We can just leave it open-ended. It could be related to the over-under game. It could be related to starting teams. Just some closing thoughts from everybody. And then we're going to kick it over to a question and answer session that's going to happen at the end, where we'll get questions that pop up on the screen, and then we can invite anybody that wants to chime in to answer them. And I might just delegate them because I certainly don't know much.
Right.
They just give me a microphone. Go talk.
Exactly. Time we looking at here? Okay, pretty soon now, and I'll drop it. So.
Yeah, we got about a minute. You guys have any impressions of the water game this year?
I mean, I think a crazy thing about the game is the teamwork involved with it. It's very, very difficult to get solo win point. So, I mean, if you want to get high in those rankings, you got to, have a good teammate. I foresee some people just, going up to their qualification match partners pretty early and saying, hey, do you have a program? If not, can we help you program it? Or something like that, just because of how much teams have to work together for the autonomous period to get that autonomous win point.
There'll be a standardized position where to drop things, I bet.
All right, Aaron's going to do his thing. And then Hello, Vex Universe. Welcome to another episode of UnVEXed, a deeper dive into the greatest 2 minutes in robotics. My name is Andrew Dallin. I'm the host for this episode, and we're going to be talking about all kinds of stuff. Since that 1 month ago, we've had all kinds of things happen. We've crowned new Vex Robotics World Champions, and they're joining us this evening. We've got the high school robotics world champions with us today. We're going to be talking about the reveal of the new game and over-under stuff. We're going to have a little bit to do with getting new teams started. And what about hosting events, becoming an event partner? So if you guys like this, please click down below, click on subscribe. This is a show about the greatest 2 minutes in robotics. And we've got a whole bunch of passionate people that are ready to share information with you. So let's jump right in to the good stuff here. Introducing, oh my goodness, it feels so good to say this. All right, let's hear it for Team 11101B, the Barcbots from Cupertino, California. We've got Danis and Timur joining us this evening. And also their alliance partner, Team 7686B, Tiger Robotics out of Harrisburg, South Dakota. We've got Noel and Micah Schaefer joining us this evening. Congratulations. Let's give you guys a round of applause. Woo! World champs! How did it feel, guys?
Great.
Yeah, let's start off with Danis and Timur here. Talk to me about that experience. What was it like when you knew that you were going to be the world champs?
So after the match was ending, right, the referees obviously like show the scores, make sure everything's correct. So I'd say that's the moment that we knew, but we didn't like fully know because we got the scores shown. We got that 189 to 169. So we know that we were winning up on points, but then the referees went over, talked to the other teams for a good long while, it felt. So it was, I don't know, felt like there was something up in the air still. So we weren't 100% sure, but we were, that 99% of the way there. Once those scores...
Oh, yeah, in this game, it was so sensitive. Like, a string out of the field or that one pinning call on the Jackson area robotics team that actually might have helped some of you guys out, right? So how about you guys in South Dakota? What was it like when you knew that you were going to be world champs, when it first dawned on you and hit you?
So for me, I am not actually on the drive team. So I was watching it, and the moment I saw, so we flipped a roller at about 3 seconds left, and it was 3 to 1 roller. So I thought we probably had it, but I knew that we lost autonomous in the third match. So it looked like we had it, but I was a little bit concerned. And as we waited longer, I got a little more concerned, I guess you could say. But it definitely felt good. I was like, we were celebrating a little bit early, us and some of the other guys from the Barcbots that weren't on the drive team. But, when they announced it up there, we were just screaming, and then we ran up there and hug all of our teammates. It was crazy.
And I was sitting back a row behind Micah, and Danis was right next to me. And, we were just, after each match, you're trying to, you don't have the best view from overhead. You can't really tell, are there 15 discs or 18 discs in the basket? So, but then Danis noted, he said, hey, the camera people are talking to our guys. He said, I think they got it. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. I think you're right. And sure enough, that was it.
Oh,
Yeah, I think
that is so cool. Again, you guys, this is the most remarkable accomplishment, and congratulations to you all. Now, talk to me about your homecoming. What was it like coming home as the world champions? And I'm going to kick this one back over to California. What do you have to say? What happened when you got home? What did people say?
Well, everyone was congratulating us, so that felt really nice. Though the first thing that came home, I guess, greeted us when we were home, is all the AP exams that I still had to do. So That was interesting for sure. But we got a lot of support, which was really great. We're very thankful for the community that we have here. Helped us persevere, I guess. So yeah.
Right. It's definitely community is a big part of all this stuff where you have those folks that helped you get where you were. Maybe they were sponsors, helped you buy equipment, make things happen, all the coaches. And it takes a village to make this work. All right. How about South Dakota? What happened when you guys came home as world
So
champ?
for us, all of our sister teams had watch parties and stuff going on for us. So it felt great coming home to our teammates from different teams, I guess, congratulating us and saying they were cheering us on all along the way. And then also another team from a different city who they were very inspired by us and they had a watch party as well. And I'm super proud that we made an impact like further than just our organization, that we were like making some outreach there and inspiring some other people. And we were also welcomed by a couple news organizations in Sioux Falls that one came back to interview us after they had come after the U.S. Open, and then another one. So, yeah.
Yeah, we had. So when we were in the World's Finals matches, I was texting the reporter. I'm like, hey, maybe we should talk again. And so she's like, yeah, when you get back, let me know. And at that time, we hadn't won yet. And then another local team, not part of our organization, he called a different news station and said, you should talk to these guys. So I talked to them. And then I think one of the more important things perhaps is word got to the school board, and the school board invited our team to their meeting and gave us 10 minutes to talk to the school board about what we're doing. So that was really cool too.
Wow. That's so cool. Now, you guys must have some sort of magical superpowers, right? So are you like Batman and you're not really a superhero, but you have all kinds of money, so this is what makes it happen for you? Or did you get bit by a radioactive spider and now you're like a UnVEXed Robotics superpower genius? What's your origin stories, guys? We'll start with California, please.
Yes. So I guess our team started off with just two people, me and Sakith, another one of my teammates. And we had a goal of, when we're making the team, to prioritize the team chemistry above all. Because we've had an experience where sometimes you were on the same team, but you have different ideas and it's very difficult to figure all that out. So I think that's really what helped us get there at Win Worlds, just having each team member understand what the goal is, what we're doing. And that's how we picked other team members to, I guess, complement us, fill in our weaknesses, and yeah, basically just work really well together as a team.
Yeah, I guess.
All right, thanks, Timur. Yeah. And Dennis, yeah, sorry.
If I can add here, it started with just two words: humble and respectful. I mean, like, be humble, be respectful, be a good part of this UnVEXed community. If you can be that, then you can achieve the goals will be achieved over here. And they both share that philosophy feel, and that really helped me to manage their time, to address certain things. There was a lot of lows that season, lots of failures. I mean, like, more than I can imagine. And they all looked at those failures and only got stronger because of them. And I think it's because they were feeling that they're part of the same team, and team is above all.
Wonderful. Yes, thank you so much for those words. And how about the origin story there for Noel and Micah? How did you become world champs?
So I guess I'll start off. Freshman year, we came together as a team, just the five of us on Capten. We didn't really have a name, and the first robot we built could hold 7 cubes. It had not 7 cubes, 10 cubes. It had a capacity of 10 cubes, so we shortened that capacity of 10 to Capten. So our name came from Tower Takeover freshman year, and it's kind of stuck with us since. And the five of us have been working together since then. It's been years of like hard work and just learning like how things in VEX work, and tons and tons and tons of dedication this year.
And I think a lot of what you guys did too is networking with other teams. You know, obviously you got ideas from others, but this year they really made an effort to share with others too. And I think that, kind of paid off, kind of came full circle. And I don't know if you want to talk about how you reached out.
Yeah.
And that was a big part of how we got connected.
So this year we did we really pushed to have a lot of big presence on Instagram. We did quite a few YouTube videos this year as well. We're in a lot of Discord servers, talked to a lot of other teams. And I actually found Saketh from the Barcbots on Discord a few days before World started, and I kind of just was talking to him like, hey, what do you got for a robot? What do your autons do and whatnot? And that little bit of networking helped out because I sent him our auton, and he thought it was good enough to watch back a couple of our matches, and that really worked out well for us because he found us as a good partner, and we were not in a good position after qualifications. We were in 20th place. So that networking aspect of VEX, which a lot of people kind of skim over, really paid off.
Well, guys, I think I could talk to you all night long here. You have so many great tips and pieces of advice. Please stick around. We're going to have a question and answer session at the end of this, and we'd love to see what other people in the VEX universe have for you guys for questions. But unfortunately, we've got a lot of other pieces to get to. So I just want to thank you for being here tonight, and congratulations. You guys have earned it. You worked very, very hard this season to make it happen. And it was with great respect and honor to have you on UnVEXed show tonight to share a little bit about your story. So congrats and well done.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to switch over. There was a new game that was revealed. Something about over, under. What? Let's bring in John Queen. Let's bring in Clint Matlock, and let's talk about this.
Hey! Over, under. Yeah, first off, let me just say, Capten and Barcbots, thank you so much for coming on our show, and congratulations to you guys for being the Spin Up World Champs. That is totally awesome. Real quick, what I want to say, it was the last thing you guys talked about. Scouting and connection is key to this, to VEX competition. And no matter how you do it, whether it's on Discord or whatever, it doesn't have to take place right at the tournament. It can actually take place before. So I think that is really key there, the scouting.
Yes, that is a big part. That's a huge piece, and a lot of teams miss that. Like, I'm going to go with this team because I know this. I'm going to go with my sister team. Got to talk, and when you talk, great things can happen. And like Capten just showed, they said they weren't in a great spot, but that relationship that they garnered in the beginning probably helped them out. But I don't know. I don't know how they were in 20th because they were good. So now we're going to talk about over under. So over under is a new game, and right now head ref certifications are out. I've already got mine. I've got both.
I've got mine.
But Clint's got his, and you can go get yours too. You don't have to do it. But there's also drive team certification. This year they moved them though. Don't go to certifications.vex. You're not going to find it. I mean, you'll find it, but it's for the old game. And it's for the old EP. The new ones, they have moved to kb.robotics education, and there's a volunteer tab. If you click on the volunteer tab, it'll take you straight to where you need to go. It'll tell you head ref. It'll tell you which certification you want. It'll tell you drive team, and I would suggest all you drivers out there, anybody that's going to be on the drive team, go ahead and take that little training course. It's not, you know, you fail it and they're going to kick you out. No, they're not going to kick you out, but you're going to learn something. And when you learn something, you're going to help us learn something. So when I'm calling the rules and you guys look at me puzzled, and don't say you don't, because it happens, you'll look at me puzzled, like, that's a rule? I'm like, yeah, read the manual. So if you take those training courses, you'll know exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. If you have taken the head ref certification in the past, they were really kind of easy. They were almost like a rubber stamp. This year, REC has put in an extreme amount of time to really make you think with scenarios. So make sure that you do block off time to really sit down and concentrate, because it's going to have you digging through the game manual. It's going to have you thinking about different scenarios, and all of that is real world stuff. So it's really cool that they have kind of changed that. But yes, as John said, make sure you get the right one that's under the REC library. So also, we're going to touch on it because it's coming in a later segment. They also have the EP segment, or the EP certification out. Now, all of these certifications, I think John would agree with me, it's great for anybody to take. It'll really help you understand what goes on running an event. But once again, that one, even though we've run signature events and state champion, it still took about 3 hours to get through that. So the biggest thing is, we don't want you to be scared to take a test, because you're not really committing to anything, but you may find out a lot about how to run an event, and you may actually be a coach that says, hey, I think I want to do this. And we would love for that. We love good events and we love good EPs.
Yes, we love that. Now, let's get into this little game we call Over Under. This thing looks kind of different. It's not no spin up. It's not no turning point. It's not no tower takeover. This thing looks like it might be action-packed and powerful, and we're going to be tossing tri-balls. And yes, they're tri-balls. Don't call them acorns. Don't call them whatever. I heard that they're officially called tri-balls, so you must always call them tri-balls. But this game's going to be quick. The autonomous win point, solo in it, probably going to be tough. I think it's going to happen. I think it might happen at Mall. I can bet you it probably happens at Mall, that a team's going to figure out a way to solo it. But that's going to be a hard task. And in this game, could we see some blocker bots? Could we see bots that the blockers come up, and when you're trying to shoot across the other line to empty the tri-balls, is that going to be effective? I mean, we saw blockers with the string. I didn't see anything that looked too effective. There still is the 36-inch expansion, but there's no really true height expansion. So what do we see? And then, of course, end game. Last 30 seconds, can't touch a robot. You can't touch their pole that they're climbing, and you can't touch a robot that's trying to climb the pole. So that means you're going to have to figure out a way to hang. And hanging is going to be the key. To me, on early season events, a robot that can do a low hang off the middle bar there probably is going to be the highest hanging robot if there's 4 robots on the field. This is just going to be it's going to be a tough one. I think teams will get there and they'll find their way there. There's some 24-hour builds I've seen out there. There's a Mankato that did a 24-hour build. Very nice. I like the style. I think that it could turn into some meta. I mean, it looks pretty good. Clinton, do you have any thoughts on this game and what you think we're going to see that we don't know we're going to see yet?
The biggest thing that I think that we're going to see that's going to bring a lot of oohs and ahs are going to be the end game. We saw that with string and covering a field, but with this game, I think as we start seeing robots start to climb and start to high hang, I think that's going to be really cool. But I also think we're going to see falling robots too, that are going to just bring a lot of oohs and ahs as well. So that's what I think. I think the double zoning will be interesting. But yeah, I agree with John that we're going to see tri-balls flying everywhere. Yeah, we're just going to see them all over the place. So I think it'll be super interesting, and I can't wait. I know that right now there's not a whole lot of Q&A for us to go through. We only have the game manual to go off of, and John and I don't get to watch really any live stream yet. But no, I'm excited to see what the students are going to come up with, and I'm excited to see what becomes meta, just like John said. That's all I have.
Well, that's all I have. So I guess we're done.
Kick it back to Andrew.
Andrew.
All right, thank you guys. As always, love the insight, love the energy, and it's so cool to see the crowd following it on the bleep bloop on the keyboard saying, hey, John, we love you. Everybody loves John. He's so lovable. Hey, our next segment is going to be on starting a team. So let's talk about this. Let's bring in Todd Ablett here from Canada, the godfather of UnVEXed Robotics. Bring him in. And he's going to talk to you guys about some good pointers on starting UnVEXed Robotics teams. Now's the time. Bring it, Todd.
Hey guys, did you know if you say tri-balls real fast, John Q or Clint will show up? It's true. It's true. So I'm just going to quickly go over some stuff. I'm suspecting there aren't too many new coaches on here, but there's a lot of you who will be asked how do you start a team and how you can help them with that. And hopefully we can give you just sort of what I believe the 5 main stumbling blocks or variables are, right? And that's, we're talking about a competitive UnVEXed team. I'm mainly going to refer to VRC stuff, but this all works basically with IQ, right? The first one is, and we saw from earlier discussion with both our world champions, a lot of teams start real small. How many students you're going to be dealing with? Probably one team. That may not be the truth, though. You might be, did that work? The tri-balls, anyhow. It may not always be easy to have just one team. One team's nice to get your feet wet as a coach, but you may have 2 or 3 just by the number of students. So that's a variable a little bit out of your control, right? But honestly, once you get going, you're not going to have trouble with students. That's not going to be a problem. Then there's the types. And here's what I say is, well, we saw a very successful, one of those school-based and very successful, I'd call more family or individual-based. There's also company-based and even not-for-profits, and I'm sure I'm forgetting one in there. But how you form it is probably going to depend on the kids you're bringing in and how you're bringing them in. Again, that's going to be a little bit out of your control. So far I've mentioned 2 variables that, are kind of out of your control. The third one is what I call how you're going to fund this thing. And that's a big one. I mean, if you're doing VRC, you're going to spend a little bit of money your first year and every year after, because you'll wear out stuff and you'll always want another part. That's the way any competitive mechanical thing goes, whether you're racing robots or racing cars. Doesn't matter. A little bit more money, one more thing, it'll make you the world champion. Okay, not true, but that's what we think that way, right? But this is where early on, there may be a fee charged by you, your company, your school. Maybe the school board itself gives you some funding. You've got to try to find out where that is and then what you can afford. And that, in fact, is more likely to limit the number of students you have. So this third variable, how you get your funding, is going to matter. And the other thing is you may get lucky with your funding if you can try to help start a parent group and have them raise money. And why I'm going to tell you that early on is kids can raise money, but the problem is if you watch the interview with the World Championships, world champions, you realize the amount of hours they put in. So if you have your kids out raising money, it's going to be awfully hard for them to, go and raise money also. So maybe that hands to parents. Maybe it's a fee. It might also be sponsorship that you and the kids can work on. Those are harder, they're long term, but depending on the area, you can probably do that. The fourth one, the second last one, is pretty critical, and that's your space to meet. You need to decide that. And the amount of variables here are massive. I mean, someone's got a big garage, and you got one team, that's probably going to work fine, as long as everyone has access to it on the team and all that good stuff. You may be in a school setting where you've got to work out, do you have to put your stuff away at night? And by the way, I've done all these scenarios, and that's probably the hardest one where, yep, you got a space, you get this room. For instance, I had one year where, yep, anything we wanted after school. And by the way, when we leave, we had to clean it up. So setting and taking down fields, man, we don't like those new portable fields. Those have been hot then, but we just had the metal ones. And so do whatever you can, but understand it's still not the most important variable. So I'm down to my fifth one. And my fifth one is what did I write here? The mentor, teacher, coach, accountant, travel agent thing. So if you're going to run one of these teams, especially the VCR level, you're going to quickly find that the kids know, I mean, you're going to help them with basics. You're going to help them with a way of thinking. They got the robot design under control. They're going to talk with other teams. They're going to try themselves, break something, unbreak it, fix it, change it. The actual technology of the robot is not going to be your hardest part as a coach. Having that knowledge is going to be nice for you to have, but it's not going to make the difference. Your ability to organize all these things really matters. It's why often teachers tend to be pretty good coaches, and it's not because teachers have any superpowers other than they've been taught how to deal with groups of people, kids, and keep them a little more on task, a little more focused. If you happen to be an individual that has that already, you don't really need to worry about that as an extra thing. But that's one place, if you're looking for a coach, maybe you want to sponsor the team, but you don't want to quite coach. That's what I'd suggest there. Now, you probably still have 1,000 questions. You might want to ask us here afterwards. But our production people, I didn't prepare them for this. But honestly, one of the places you need to go, besides the VEX forums, right? That's a great place to go and look. And the VEX page itself. I'm going to plug a site that a few of us are on. It's called the VEX World Coaches Association and the VEX IQ Worldwide Coaches Association. What that is anywhere from 2,000 to 3,000 coaches are on there. And if you ask a question almost any time of day, because of the way the time zones work, you're probably only a few hours from an answer if it's a technical question. And that's going to help you. There's ideas there for how to raise funds, how to deal with your club setups and everything. So consider that, looking at both of those. Maybe after show, we'll try to put it in the links if we can do something like that. But go look, and I know it's not really for the students that are watching this, but encourage your coaches to go do it. It's sort of a safe space for us coaches where we can go and talk to other coaches. And, oh, look at this. There it is. There's VEX World Coaches Associations. It's a cool resource for us, right? And if you ever have a question for me or any of the coaches, I'm on there a fair bit. But if you go in there and question us and question other people, we'll do everything to help you, because those 5 things I listed, the hardest one for people to get, honestly, is a coach. I know that it's hard to get the students. It's hard to get the space. It's hard to get the funding. It's hard to get, I forget the other one I mentioned in there, the type of thing you're building. But the hardest one to find is a coach, and most teams will very much admit that once they can get that right coach, things like going to your regionals or states or provincials or getting to a world championship or even going all the way to the end and getting into the dome and then maybe even playing up to the worlds and maybe winning one. It's got a lot to do with the coaches that are supporting them. And yeah, I've been doing it for a few years, but my utmost respect to all of those of you who just started recently. I get the advantage of having experience. Some of you just wade right in and make me look bad. You're amazing. So hang in there, and don't be afraid to ask people on this or anywhere else around you. The VEX community itself is pretty good. So Acorns doesn't work, you guys. You've got to say triballs. Anyhow, I think we're coming back to you, Andrew. And remember, you got any questions, either you can try to get in touch with us here or go to the forums or go to those Facebook pages we suggested. So anyhow, back to you, Aaron. Or not Aaron. Sorry, man. Back to you, Andrew.
All right. Hey, thanks, Todd. That's some really good advice. And becoming a new coach is like drinking from the fire hose. I mean, there's so much content, so much to take in, and just do it. Just go with the Nike slogan on that one. Just do it, dive in, and have fun with it. There's also some great programs I want to mention real quick here. The REC Foundation has got a mentor program. So reach out to whoever you're covering your region in the REC Foundation. Go to the REC website, check it out, find out who's covering your area, make some cold phone calls and say, who's my guy, who's covering this area. They'll help you out and maybe hook you up with some of those mentor programs. So let's dive right in. We've got one segment left and we're already running over budget on time, but I remember a few years ago talking to this individual, trying to get this person spooled up to become a coach and trying to get this person spooled up to become an event partner. And everything this person does just turns into gold. Let's bring in Paul Mortensen.
Hey, well, congratulations, Capten and Barcbots. What an honor to be on the show with you today. A lot of fun to see you guys do so well. You know, we got a lot of great information that's already been shared tonight. I'll make it pretty sweet, short, and to the point. And like Andrew said, it was pretty much for me just being pushed off the cliff. I wasn't sure I had the what it takes to turn on to a successful event. But it was a lot of fun, and I haven't regretted it since. And so if I can do it, you can do it. So as already been mentioned tonight, there's a ton of information on the REC Foundation. If you're thinking about having an event, maybe just think about, how about your region? Does your region need some more tournaments? You know, I see nothing but explosion happening because of all the great things UnVEXed is offering to students. And with that explosion of teams comes a need for competition. And so please don't be afraid to be an event partner. And so you can reach out to your event engagement manager through the REC. They can help you figure out who that person is. They can help train you. They've got a ton of great timeline information for you to kind of help you walk through all of that stuff. I know here in Minnesota, we've got kind of a regional calendar that we utilize to see what time of year. We like to do an early season. For me, I've found that it gets my teams motivated early. I know we've got the Mall of America now as our signature event here in Minnesota, and that's been fantastic. And so to really get those teams going early, we know is really important, especially for the higher level success at the end. Think about where you could host an event. It can be in a gym, auditorium, a commons area. I know we break off some classrooms for judging and different things that we have going on in our school. We've been pretty fortunate. Make sure you get that stuff reserved early. I know I'm a teacher. We fight with our athletic director to make sure that we get the space or activities director that we need. Once you've decided to host an event and you've worked through with the event management, engagement manager, then get certified. Clint and John already talked about the great things with certification, all the things that you will learn, and even me, I took the certification and felt like, I forgot about that, or something else was pointed out. So that's pretty cool. We are, like I said, fortunate here in Minnesota. We've got a great network of coaches that work really well together, and we've got trailers that can be rented and kind of help us with some of that technical equipment. But if you don't have that luxury, I know that they can find other coaches in your area that can also help fill the gap a little bit. So don't hesitate to reach out to some of those local teams. I know we're kind of on an island by ourselves. Albert Lee popped in there in the chat. And so we've got one team, that's half an hour away from us, but the rest of our teams, the rest of our competitions are pretty far. And so that was another reason that kind of falling off the cliff needed to get something going down in this area. So once you've kind of got some of that stuff laid out for you, you want to kind of decide how big do you want to have your tournament. You don't have to go big first. Start with a smaller tournament, 24 teams. That's a nice size tournament to get some good competition going. And with those teams, then you're also going to need some volunteers. One of the things that we do at our school is it's an expectation. You know, I've got 8 teams now, and we've got over 40 kids in our program in a small school. We make the parents and younger siblings sign up to be volunteers, and they do some of the back stuff, the custodial registration, run the hospitality room, etc.
Uh-oh, it looks like Paula's frozen up here for a second. So, again, she's got a lot of great experiences, done some amazing things. We're going to start off with a question and answer session at the end of this here, but please like and subscribe. If you've got ideas for future content, just email us at theworldunvexed@gmail.com. And I also want to, I'm going to start this shout out here. I want to give a huge round of applause to the Robotics Education and Competition Foundation. They've done such a great job. I was just blown away that they've already got referee videos done, certifications done. That is huge. So they are doing some great work, and the way they've broken apart the engagement specialists and the team engagement, they're doing amazing work here. So let's bring in the rest of the crew, and let's have a couple of closing thoughts as we go around here. And audience, if you're watching, get ready with some comments, some questions for us. So let's jump back. Let's go to Clint.
Hey, I do want to reiterate what you said about the REC, and John and I always try to do the head ref certification as soon as it comes up. I do not remember a time where it's ever been out this early. The same goes for the EP certification, which is really good for educators, for any coaches that are wanting to be to run a tournament. Now's the time to do it. A lot of times they've done it later in the year, that you get it in August, and by then you've already missed it. Great opportunity to get it in now throughout the summer. The other thing, Paula kind of touched on it, that I just wanted to throw in there, was another great way to find out and to kind of test the waters on if you want to be a EP is to run a league night. Very low key, small. You can get your volunteers in there, and usually you have your classroom already set up to run your league. So a great way to do that on the down low. That's all I got.
Hey, thanks so much. Hey, we're going to go back to Paula. It looks like she was unfrozen. Now she's frozen again. Oh, no. Do you want to build a snowman? She's frozen. Oh, let's go back to John Queen in the middle.
Hey, yo. Hey, Paula. He's picking on you. You can't hear him right now, but he's picking on you. But yes, leagues are the best. That's the best thing. And hey, I know that guy. That guy right there was wearing an UnVEXed shirt, and that lady at Terry Black's was taking a picture of the QR code that brings you right to the UnVEXed YouTube page, which is beautiful. Everyone should do it.
Somebody must have said try ball, try ball, try ball.
Beetlejuice. Wait a minute, it's Triball. Yes.
Triball.
Hey, Todd. Do you have some closing thoughts for us? Yep. Do you know that you're muted? Are you messing with us?
Can you talk more?
Normally it doesn't matter at all. Normally I can talk and people hear me without a microphone, so why the heck would this matter?
Yes.
Yeah. No, I'm just trying to congratulate all the teams that were at the Worlds, whether you came in first in your division or dead last, whether you made the playoffs or not. It's a big deal you went. I know a lot of teams went there. And that's the kind of memory 20 years, us old guys will say, 20 years after you're out of school, it's the memory of going there. Yeah, it does matter if you're like these guys and champion. I've had a few teams do that. It's great. But you know what? Some of the best stories come from all the kids, all the way from champion, all the ship to last in their division. So I want to thank all the coaches and teams that make that happen and the parents. Let's face it, without our parents, we ain't going there. But also for both VEX itself to a minor extent, well, not a minor, but a major extent. But the biggest thing is the RECF Foundation, who runs this all. And, they answer a lot of questions, do their best. And the coolest thing for everyone to know, new coach or old coach, is, they all come from sort of an engineering background. So if there's something you'd like to see changed in the system, you can always ask. And even as students, you know that you can go to a referee. Not many sports can you as a player go up to a referee and say, hey, I don't know about the way you're calling that rule. And if you do it politely, the referee's going to answer you politely. So that's a big deal, right? John and Clint epitomized that. I mean, we have a few good win where I am. But so teams, enjoy the fact that you get to have this. But coaches and everybody involved in the system, let's just try to keep it better and better. The way the kids work on the robots, we got to work on the system. And I believe RECF, that's their goal, and it sure makes it easy for us as coaches almost all the time. So there's my dig at it, the whole thing. So,
hey, thanks, Todd. It looks like Paula's moving again.
With all this technology, I still live in the boonies with a poor connection. But again, congrats to those world qualifiers. You can do it. You can jump in as an event partner. We need more of you as VEX continues to explode and we end up with more people, more kids that are getting this great opportunity. We need more of you to step forward. And like I said, if I can do it, anyone can do it. And so go for it.
Thanks, Paula. Hey, let's go back to Harrisburg, South Dakota, and see what Noel and Micah have to say.
We didn't get to this earlier, but my biggest piece of advice for any team, whether you're starting new or you're trying to make an impact this season, is start early. We got our early start last season on the drive back from Worlds. And then next, use CAD. Softwares we use are Protobot, and we are thinking about moving to Inventor. Inventor is a really good software. We have used Fusion 360, but I think Inventor is a little bit better. Protobot's a super easy software to start on. It takes maybe an hour, couple hours to learn how to use, and you can really quickly put together a robot within that software, and that will really help you going into a season if you're not used to CAD at all. Programming wise, we use Pro's Easy template. That was super good for us, helped us a lot this season. Easy template is extremely easy for any team to get used to using as long as you know how to work with Pros. Yeah.
And I guess I would just add that, kind of going off, I think what Paula said, that, anybody can do this. You just have to, decide you're going to do it. I'm a very technical. I've been a programmer for many years. I've done nothing. I know nothing about the programming of this robot. So all my technical skills, I don't use here. I show up. I supervise practices. I do kind of the logistics. And all that stuff's not that hard. You just have to commit to it, and it's just been an amazing experience to watch these kids get to do what they love to do and to flourish. And it's not like I had to learn how to program a robot. I'm not supposed to do that, and that's very liberating.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And hey, let's visit California here with Danis and Timur. Do you guys have any thoughts, things you'd like to share as we're closing down the segment?
Yeah, sure. I think I'm going to offer a piece of advice like Micah. And that would be, I think, if you're involved in robotics at all, just the main goal, just have fun. That's going to get you so far, and you can transform that into basically anything. Just have fun. Have fun when you're building, have fun when you're programming, even when you have to keep resetting the field. Have fun when you're doing CAD like we have now, but we're going to start. And most importantly, have fun when you're doing engineering notebook, which I know a lot of teams don't like to do. Don't like to have fun there, but truly it's a great thing to do. So just have fun, I guess. Yeah.
And if I can add to this, UnVEXed Robotics is a competitive robotics, and competitions, well, there will be failures, and there's going to be actually more failures than successes, especially if you're just starting. That's okay. It's okay to fail. If you believe in what you do, if you believe that, if you're passionate about what you do, you will succeed eventually.
That's some fantastic advice. I love it. FAIL stands for first attempt in learning. Fail early, fail often, and learn from those. Use those as an opportunity to grow. Hey, Micah, you got that trophy? Just can you like bring that trophy?
Yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Congratulations to our world champions. You guys have earned tons of respect in the VEX universe. Great job. And are we graduating, or are we going to see you next year?
My entire team is graduating. I will be going on to Iowa State. I'm starting a VEX U team along with a couple friends from the Iowa, Nebraska, South Dakota region. We're going to call it Cyclone. And my teammate Ian is going to South Dakota State University, and he intends to start a VEX U team there as well. So 2 new VEX U teams cropping up here soon, hopefully.
Hey, I usually MC VEX U. I want to see you guys there next year, and you better come say hi.
For sure. We definitely will.
All right. And Addison, tomorrow, what are your plans? Are we see you next year?
For sure. Hoping to come to more signature events, perform better overall, and just like I said before, have fun and just do really well. Starting basically today, I think we got our field shipped, so we'll be assembling that and starting.
Most of our team is seniors this year, and our driver is actually freshman. So lots of years.
More chances. We're going to see more Barcbots in the future for sure. It's time for that Q&A session. Do we have any Q&A out there? Questions for the group? I don't see anything on my screen here. All right. I'm sorry, I've got to close my chat window because this is getting in the way here. What does Micah think over under meta will be? Micah, let's bring in Micah for this question.
I definitely think the meta will be a puncher. So there are a lot of creative ways to make a puncher. I think a piston release puncher rather than a slip gear will be the meta because you can tilt it downward and potentially make a try ball in the goal from across the bar, and that would enable a ton win point. I also think making a robot that can drive under a goal to just plow try balls out will be a big thing. If you catch your enemy double zoning, then you can just plow them out. So having a robot under like 5.5 inches or so, that could be a good weapon.
Awesome. Great answer. And it looks like this is the end of episode 4. So please like and subscribe. If you've got ideas for future episodes, email us at theworldunvexed@gmail.com. There's lots more to come. We'll see you in about 1 month, the 3rd Monday of every month. We're coming to you live. So here we go. Episode 4. That's a wrap.